So we're at Skare, and actually this was my decision point for detours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to detour off and I'm going to go to Langfossen Falls, which is about 20 kilometres. I've got to go out and back because there's no round route, there's only one road and it goes all the way around the fjord, which is about 100k. So I'm just going to go to the falls and back. So we'll give that a run and see how we get on there. So join us for more waterfall action. And after that we're going to ride the Hardanger route and we're going to get ourselves all the way up to Ulvik. Well, that's the plan anyway. So we're going to ride Route 13 from Låtefoss all the way up to Ulvik there. So it was a pretty quick run. Just 20 kilometres down the E134 from Skare. There's a couple of tunnels and we're running down alongside the fjord here, and we pop out of this tunnel and look, there it is. There's Langfossen waterfall. I didn't realise it was this close. We'll stop and have a look and then get closer. That is Langfoss waterfall. That's pretty impressive, and if you look at the bottom of it you can see the road actually goes over the top of the waterfall. Anyway, let's have a ride up and we can get a closer look. So this waterfall has a total drop of 612 metres, which we saw back there, and it's the 5th highest waterfall in Norway, so there's some bigger ones around. And it was voted one of the 10 most beautiful waterfalls in 2011. So of course this is fresh water coming down the waterfall, but it drains into Fjorden there. You can just see it on the right, which is salt water, so you get a funny mix there. And this is actually one of the very few big waterfalls in Norway that hasn't been turned into a hydro scheme. So it's actually in its natural state, which is quite rare. Well, that's Langfoss waterfall. You can probably hear it behind me. It's pretty noisy and that's a lot of water. But what a place. If I just spin round here, just the other side of the road is the fjord there. That's pretty fantastic. There's this little parking area here. There's a subway under there so you can get across to where the waterfall is. So we should probably go over and have a look. It'd be rude not to, surely. Well, that's the waterfall from this side, and I think it's almost rude not to ride across the bridge and back again. Why wouldn't you? Let's give it a go. Let's get back on Wilbur, do that, and then we are up to Ulvik. The other thing is that we've finished the route that we were on, and we're now, as soon as I get back to Skare, we're on the Hardanger route, and that one takes us up through Hardanger Fjord, which is where Ulvik is, which is where we are staying tonight, I hope. So that's the plan. Well, we'll have a ride across the bridge and we can have a look and see where we are. It's a shame really, because you're so close to the waterfall here, it's not so impressive. I think it's more impressive from just a little further away. More impressive are probably the views to the right here of the fjord. And this is approaching from the other direction, because obviously we had to turn around to go back. There's a lot of water going over there. Right, that's it. E134 up to Skare and then Hardanger route. Let's go. Well, we just got onto the Route 13 and I stumbled upon this, which is Låtefossen Falls. It's actually two waterfalls that combine at the bottom. But these waterfalls, they put out 17 cubic metres a second, 17 tonnes of water a second, which is actually over twice what Langfossen does. Well, no sooner had we left one waterfall and we found Låtefoss. I've forgotten this was here actually. I got so excited about the other one, I forgot about this one. And that's pretty good as well. I think we're doing okay for waterfalls today. There's people in the river. The water's absolutely crystal clear. And it's very loud, so I hope you can hear me. Fantastic. Although the signs claim this to be 165 metres tall, I think the marketing department had been in overdrive. It's actually 95 metres, but there you go, it makes a good story. So it's time to get on the road again. We're just about to leave, and that lass on the left, you might recognise her. The last time I saw her, she was upside down at the top of Freakerstolen. She actually recognised me and Wilbur when she walked up there. But anyway, it wasn't the first time on this entire trip that we start seeing the same people at different points on the route. So after all that, we're going to run up Sørfjorden here on our left hand side. We're on route 13 and we're just going to enjoy the views of the Hardanger route. There's a bit more traffic, it's definitely a bit more touristy than the Rifelki was. This area is known as the Garden of Norway, and there's fruit for sale and all these little huts along the side of the road. It was rude not to stop and get some. I'm 50 minutes from the camping. I'm not making the same mistake I did last time, so I want to get some food while there's a shop that's open. It's a mad place when it's about 22 degrees and the snow on the hills. What's that, a kilometre or two away? So this is the tunnel on Route 13 that runs to Granvin, and there's an underground spaceship roundabout. I've never seen such a thing in my life. How cool is that? You might also notice the camera's a bit misty here. These tunnels were really warm and humid, much warmer than the outside air. Very strange, because later on the tunnels were cold. This is the run to Ulvik and our camping for the evening. Looks like a nice spot. I think this will do, Ulvik camping, so we've got to go and pay at the automatic machine at the guest house over the road. We have, if I set the tent up in the right place, a view of the fjord here, and I've got my tea with me. We're good to go, everything we need. It's 5:30, that's a good time to finish riding for the day. And what a day, we'll talk about that later. Right, I'm going to go and get booked in first. Well, we're here and checked in. The automatic machine thing over there is a bit random, but anyway, I booked a spot. That was it for the cheapest camping. I think this is called what they call the premium spot, but I saw the owner. He's not exactly rushed off his feet, and he said, "Nah, just stay here." I said, "I don't want electric anyway, so that's fine." I think the premium and the standard are just whether electric or not. So there's little huts here, if that takes your fancy to stay in, and shower block and stuff over there, and the guest house is over the road there, but that'll do. Anyway, I've parked Wilbur, so he's got a nice view over the fjord. And I think he'll enjoy that, so we'll get the tent set up and then we can start chilling out. That's why you put your tent up first as soon as you get to camp. It's literally just started raining. It was forecast to, so I'm not bothered, and it's going to go through in an hour or two. So that's okay, I'll just do my maintenance on Wilbur later. And in the meantime, we'll just sort everything out and get the bed and everything set up. I've got my beer, got my potato chips, my beer snacks. So I'll just, yeah, we'll just sit in here and get camp set up, and I can cook in here if I need to, so that's not a problem either. So I think that's what we'll do. It's faired up, so I've got the jobs done on Wilbur. Got him sorted, the maintenance. Didn't need to put any engine oil in, so that's good. The oil leaks well and truly sorted, I hope. I've checked the points gap and things like that. Everything looks okay. Oiled the chains, put some oil in the primary, which you need to do every couple of 100 k's anyway. So that's all done, and the sun has just come out over the fjord over there. How good does that look? Anyway, it's tea time and I'm cooking tonight, and by cooking I don't mean just heating porridge up. We've got Uncle Ben's veg pilau, which you boil some water and put it in a pan and stir it about a bit, but this is proper cooking. I've got some prawns from the shop, so I'm going to cook those up first and mix them together, and therefore I'm putting two things in a pan, and therefore that's a recipe, and therefore that's cooking. So I am officially doing cordon bleu food. Stick them in and warm them up. That looks about done to me. Pretty good. Prawn pilau rice. Well, there we are, I'm stuffed. That was a good tea. I'm going to go and do the washing up, have a shower, and then I'm going to sit and watch the sun go down over the fjord, I think. Well, what about today? The riding this morning, Rifilki route, that was just spectacular. I'm going to give that 8 out of 10. It had tunnels, mountains, forests, boulders, fjords, sweeping smooth curves. The tarmac was excellent all the way, and there was almost no traffic. That is a route to go for. The only reason I haven't given it 10 is I need to do the rest of the routes to make sure there's not a better one, but that's 8 out of 10 so far. It was worth the detour off to the waterfall as well, Låtefoss waterfall. It's only 20k or so from Roldal. That was well worth a visit. So what I call my route 3, that was the Hardanger, or the first half of the Hardanger route, from Låtefoss to Kinsarvik, and that's where I jumped off the route and came here to Ulvik. That route, I'm not so sure about that. There was a lot of traffic, there was roadworks, the surface isn't as good, and the views are not as good. So it was a good route, it wasn't an amazing route. So I think we've got to give the first half of that a 6 out of 10. But let's see tomorrow, because tomorrow, sorry, that was Sørfjorden, was the half of that we did today. Tomorrow we're going to do the Hardanger Fjorden, and that is supposed to be like one of the picture postcard Norway trips. So although we've got 6 out of 10 for the first half, that can all change tomorrow. So tomorrow morning I'm going to ride all the way down to Jondal on one side of Hardanger Ford, get the ferry across, and then I'm going to ride all the way back again, back to where I started here at Granvin. So join us then. I'm then going to pick up another route, and we're going to be again heading north again. So it's a little bit of a detour, but I've got to see Hardanger Ford. So that's about it. So hopefully tomorrow we get as good a scenery as we had today. The weather, we got away with that. We had an hour of rain when I'd put the tent up, but that's okay, we survived that. And hopefully Wilbur behaves a little bit better, but a few minor hiccups like that, we can deal with that. So you might remember when we set off on this journey, I was at 54 degrees north, and I'm trying to get to 66.35 degrees north, which is the Arctic Circle. Today, and sat here now at Ulvik, we are at 60.3. That means we are past halfway in terms of latitude. So We've just got to keep going. I've done nearly 1900 kilometres to this point. So join us for more adventures next time, when we make more tea. We have our breakfast overlooking the fjord, and what a lovely breakfast site that is. We get views of Ulvik from the side of the fjord. We end up on a gravel road by accident. Poor Wilbur. We get our first view of Hardanger Fjord. It's another ferry number 6 for this journey. We find some great roads that run up through the forests. We ride through the orchards of Hardanger Fjord. We end up on ferry number 7 and it starts to get very, very wet. And we realise that when it's wet in Norway, it really is proper wet. We're into more tunnels, but this time we like them, because tunnels are dry, of course. But as usual, we get amazing scenery. This is the view across Hardanger Fjord. And everywhere you look, the scenery and the views are spectacular. So join us next time on Wilbur's Arctic Adventure for all this and more.